great. Let's hope we put on a show that's fit to remember. This track, 3.36 miles around the Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Miami Dolphins. It was a car park. It's now a brilliant racetrack, and we'll see what our drivers do, coping with the 19 corners, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. 3 DRS zones, as you can see, too, and a lap distance at full throttle for 72% of those 3.36 miles. 57 laps to come, maximum speeds round about 200 miles an hour. And how will the tyres cope with the track temperatures in the very hot conditions we've had throughout the weekend? Soft as the C4, medium as the C3, hard as the C2. The hard tyre could be a favourite race tyre if it's a one-stop race, but some of the teams thinking that it might be pushed more to a two-stop race if the track temperature remains around 50 degrees. We've had a bit of rain this afternoon. That's cooled things down, but it won't last for long.
Up the heat. Demo rejected on Dino, goes in deep, and Demo rejected is out. He's crashed.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, mate.
I'm the man that walked out of fire.
Action.
It's all about being calm.
These guys have an almost fighter pilot
Times
mentality.
we see drivers.
Goodness, Phoenix Prix is out.
Really on one of the inside curves.
And it's the lights out and away we go.
There we go.
Everyone, Kidney Jim is out. Look at this little battle between the Aston Martins have changed position. On the back of Devil rejected. The Aston Martin, the RP, the Aston Martin champion will reject him. Pretty much inside, goes to Scully. Oh, that free ride out, that big great turn set. And once more, they have a little niggle, but it is the Mercedes of Wesley that's through. It's your boy Alfie into the slick. Jimmy's using that.
Nicely off the racing line. Down onto four, hit this SS section. Really see just how hard the cars work there to get so close in the right direction. First section split to go. Down onto four. 29.8 in the first section. There's a number of drivers lining up behind. The Dutchy returned to pit lane after just an initial sight lap on that set of medium tyres. It's down 94 now into turns 14 and 15. Keeping it inbound now out of 16 onto the back straight. This is the middle sector split, 101.9 through the middle sector for down 94. Only really got the hairpin to go. And that long DRS straight, maybe picking up a little bit of a slipstream off the Haas, who's a few hundred metres down the road. Into 17 comes down 94. It's one traction zone, a couple of moves off the steering wheel, straighten up the run to the line. Down 94, 126.9. That is the provisional lap time so far. Simon Levac is the next car on track, but has been invalidated. So now it's one of the Red Bulls in the final corner, and it's Phoenix Grey, also on a set of mediums, 101.4 through the middle sector. So half a second up on down 94 in the middle sector as he comes to the line. 126.7 though, so some time loss potentially there by Phoenix Grey in that final sector. Wes H 128.0 goes P3, slowest of anyone yet so far. Moomin Rider 127.3 goes to P4 because Dino comes in with a 27.345, 14 thousandths of a second faster than the McLaren, who crossed the line just a couple of moments ago. Daddy Cool 128.9 in the Alpine goes to P6 on that run, beaten on a flying lap 31.0 on an invalidated first sector, so this won't count. Adams, Taz Manager, Ale and Shane Bolan are all on flying laps, but Taz Manager has been invalidated and Shane Bolan is on what looks to be a slow lap, and so we're just following Adams and Ale as they make their way through the final couple of corners on their first flying runs. And Adams into the braking zone. A lot of the inside curb there in that hairpin for the McLaren car. Didn't unsettle it too much. And now up to the line. Adams, 1:27.7, goes to P5 at the moment. Who else is on lap? It's a Lay that our eyes look to now. He's just come out the final corner. Here he comes. Up through this final little chicane. Up to the line. Lay 1:27.4, splitting the McLarens. Taking P5 away from Adams. Beaten, starting a new flying run after his first lap was invalidated. Cam Mackenzie starting a flying lap now. The Dutchie on a flying run this time around after taking that side to lap. Shane Boland on a flying run and goes purple through the first sector on 30.1. According to the in-game timing, the Dutchie through the middle sector split takes a 1:02.9 on this set of medium tyres. Dan 94 Dino. No, I'm just imagining some flying lap times coming in that I wasn't aware of, but no, it is all as was. And the Dutchie now is going to be the next car to upset the timing tower. Up to the line for the Dutchie. It's going to be a 1:28.3 on that set of medium tyres, so more speed still to be found in that Kick Sauber. Meanwhile, Smalley on a flying run. Cam Mackenzie out of 16. He's only got a couple of corners to go. JK out on fly. Wow, JK again nearly crossed up. Going through turn 8, just about holding on to it. But my oh my, that looks close off on the offboard there. Proper aggression being shown there. Beaten, 1:27 dead. Taking P3 away from Dino. Cam Mackenzie, 1:27.2, jumps Dino as well, goes up to P4. So the two Mercedes looking pretty racy at the moment, being separated by just 0.3 of a second, and both being in the top 4. Who is on a lap at the moment? Smalley on a run, or coming to the end of a run, I should say, as he makes his way up to the line. Smalley, 1:28.0, nearly hits the outside wall there. Smalley doesn't want to do that too often. 28.0 gets him to P10. JK on that lap that we saw that kind of slide a couple of moments ago. All pointing the right way though still for JK as he comes up to line. This will be another 28. This will be a 28.8 here for JK. Again on a set of medium tyres, so more pace to be found for the MSC stalwart. Meanwhile, Shane Boland still trying to get his first flying run in. Well, the first representative lap time in through 17 now. And bailing on this occasion, just under 4 minutes to go. So plenty of time for Shane to get a new set of boots on, a new set of softs, and get a flying lap in. Ortron is on a flying lap on a set of softs in the Ferrari. Neither Ferrari able to yet set a lap time. Tasmanager 2 just crossing the start-finish line in the Sol Williams today. As there's still no sign of Liam Ski, who is supposed to be racing today. Tasman just starting a flying lap. Daddy Cool out on track as well on an out lap. Who is on a push lap? I believe Dan 94 might be on a push lap as he makes his way through the first sector split. Improves by 1/10 of a second or just about on a set of medium tyres. So Dan 94, I said that Mercedes was looking quick. Meanwhile, Ortron coming into 14 and 15. A lot of that inside curb there for Ortron. Sam Levac starting a flying lap. Phoenix Grey, Dino, Moomin Rider, Adams all rolling out of pit lane. Yellow flag in sector 1 as they sort themselves out in that little traffic jam down out of turn 3. But we'll follow Ortron to the line here in the Ferrari. Might pick up a little bit of a helping hand off the Alpine just up the road. As Ortron to the line, 1:28.5. Daddy Cool starting a flying lap now to beat that 28.970. Who else is on a lap? Tasmanager coming to the end of a run. As JK was able to improve a couple of moments ago to a 27.5. Who is that that's just jumped about? has manager was setting the 28.542. And now everyone but Ale, who is just rolling out of pit road. So the only car still in the pits is Dan94, who bailed on that lap. It was going quicker after finding that 10th in the first sector, but Dan94 bailing back into the pits, and I believe that will be the end of his sprint quali session. Simon Levac still yet to set a lap time in here as he makes his way up to the timing line, goes to the top. Simon Levac, I should say, 1:26.5. My eye was caught by Shane Boland as I thought a Haas car was returning to the pits, and it was Smalley returning to pit lane. So that is the end of Smalley's sprint quali session now as well. Moomin Rider on a lap, as too is Adams. P7 and P10 for the two McLaren boys. And Moomin Rider through the first sector split is on another slow lap, taking another slow lap. He's got a minute to go, so does have time here, does the McLaren driver, as he's got open road in front of him. Meanwhile, Adams in the second McLaren through the first sector split, finding nearly 3/4 of a second. This McLaren is flying at the moment. Daddy Cool has improved out of nowhere to a 27.4. That gets him up to P8. It's an all Alpine 8 and 9. Phoenix Grey takes back the top spot on his first run on a set of soft 1:26.1, 4/10 clear of everyone else. Job done as far as the Red Bull is concerned. Wes H has returned to the pits, as too has Ortron. Shane Boland still the only car to not get a lap in so far. Beaten on a flying lap through the middle, through the first sector split, improving by 0.3 of a second. This could get the second of the two Red Bulls right up to the front of the field. Cam Mackenzie is the car ahead of Beaton. The checkered flag now falls. Moomin Rider did not beat it. He returned to pit lane, so that is the McLaren's day done and dusted. Dino to the P3 to a 26.3, only to be beaten by Adams on a 26.5. Now it's going to be the Haas of Shane Boland that is the next car to the line. 102.3 through the middle sector for Shane. Just needs a solid lap here. Doesn't need to be flying, but just wants to get himself out of that last spot. Does so. Goes to P12 on a 27.7. It's now the Dutchie coming up to the line. Doesn't improve, importantly. Now it's one of the Mercedes. It's going to be Cam Mackenzie on a flying lap to end his sprint quali session, I should say. 26.5, beats out Simon Levac by 0.05 of a second. Beaton has returned to pit lane, so we won't get to see his final charge. Ale is improving though, nearly 6.5 tenths through the middle sector. Ale to the line, 126.6, goes to P6. And that is the last car across the line. So there we go, that is the end of sprint quali. Phoenix Grey starting on pole, 4/10 clear of Cam Mackenzie, who nudged Simon Levac off the front row by 0.05 of a second. Adams was only 21,000ths of a second off the back of the Ferrari as well. So Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, the top four, and Dino in P5. 9,000ths clear of Ale. Dan 94. The second Mercedes, unable to get his second flying run in that looked like that was going to go really quick. Not sure what happened there. Beaten as well, unable to get a second flying run in to improve on that 27.0. But there we go. That is the end of sprint qualifying. There are your top 14 on the classifications. And Smalley, Dutchie and the Ortron just down there. Not that much separating the field today. 2 seconds between Phoenix and Smalley, separating 1st to 15th, with just a couple of tenths back then to the Dutchie and Ortron. And again, the Dutchie, we weren't really able to see his true pace. I wonder, will we be seeing a flying kick Sauber coming through from the back of the grid in the sprint race to come in just a couple of moments' time, as the session now formally ends. For those watching, just because I've not heard anything to the otherwise, I take it my mic is still working, or my new mic I should say now is working and is all cool. as the race start is timed to be, the sprint race start timed to be in 2 minutes. There it is, indeed, confirmation from Bamboo Sheets that the mic is working absolutely perfectly. I love to hear that. That does make me very happy. I was gutted last week when it kept coming out that my mic was cutting out. That did make me sad. So I'm so glad that the new mic is working beautifully today, and you can hear me and hear the cars and hear the excitement and the passion and the sheer drama that MSC brings along. I really do love it. I hope you all love it too. As we just wait now for, we're into the last 60 seconds of the board being shown out of the race director's box. And then it will be lights out for the sprint race. And can Phoenix Gray carry on the momentum that he took in Canada, that win last weekend, 7 days ago? Can he carry it forward into a Grand Slam today, pole, sprint race win, and then the full race to come in probably about half an hour's time once the sprint race and qualifying are done? That will definitely be the Red Bull's plans. And what can Beaton do as well? Unable to get that second flying lap in. Will we see Beaton marching forward? As we just wait now for the last couple of moments. We should be getting ready to go in just a couple of moments time, or just a few seconds. So I'm imagining every car we will see will be on that set of medium tyres. They do a sprint race pretty comfortably. Will anyone be hyper aggressive, go on for a set of softs, which might not last to the end of the sprint race as quickly as the mediums, but do give you that little bit of helping hand off the line and in the first few laps, where getting positions and getting DRS on cars in front can be absolutely vital. There's the age-old question of just how aggressive do you want to be, and how good can you look after your tyres then in the second half of a sprint. Go, there is the let's go command, the equivalent to the driver start your engines that many folks in America attribute to some of the greatest spectacles in motor racing. Some say that the Indy 500 is the greatest spectacle in motorsport. I disagree. I think it's whenever the MSC F1 lights go out and we get the false start of the formation lap first. As Phoenix Gray leads them away from the line. Cam McKenzie, Simon Levac, Adams, Dino, and Leale, the top six. 6 different constructors in the top 6. This is like being back in F1 2012 all over again. As we can have a look and see that everyone is indeed starting on a set of medium tyres. There will be no scheduled pit stops through the sprint race to come. What can the likes of JK, Daddy Cool, Shane Boland, those slightly further down the field than we might necessarily expect, the Mortron too, can they make their way up into the top 8 positions that are the ones that get you the points today or right now? 8 for first, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As we see and watch, there is Adams in the McLaren, that white and purple helmet, distinctive against the orange and black of the McLaren, making his way down the back straight. He'll be looking for a good start. Cam McKenzie is known for getting decent starts, so that might help Adams out on the dirty side of the grid. A little bit of a slipstream from the Mercedes, just a little bit in front, might just help give him the edge past Simon Levac here, starting on P3 on the cleaner side of the grid. As here we see now Phoenix Grey coming up to the grid boxes. That number 1 grid box, as we are looking at it on the right hand side, on the left hand side of the track, will be the right hand side when we get the reverse angle for the lights out. And they are, the grid forming up very nicely. We're all there with the exception of Smalley. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the Miami sprint, and it looked like a great start there from Simon Levac in P3. We now get to the front facing angle, and Phoenix Grey have to go around the outside. Simon Levac going around the outside of Cam McKenzie. Now he's got the inside at 2. Cam going straight on at for the apex of 3, forcing them into the wall, and they're out, they're into the wall. Simon Levac and Cam McKenzie into the wall on the outside of turn 3. That looked a little bit lazy from them both, to be honest. And now Dan 94 and Beaton and Adams make their way past the slow-moving Ferrari with no front wing. Shane Boland's had a flying start. He's already up to P4. Has to give a position back, though, by the looks of it, to Dan 94 on the run down the back straight. As now JK up to P6, Wes H just behind. It's high drama here at the start of the Miami sprint, as now the Dutchy and the Dino, and we're almost 3 abreast, coming down into the hairpin of turn 10. But up at the front of the field, it's a dream start from Phoenix Grey, with Cam McKenzie and Simon Levac, the 2 cars right behind him, taking each other out. He's got nearly a second already too. Adams, who's having to deal with the other Red Bull, only a couple of car lengths behind. Then it's Shane Boland, who's got back ahead of Dan 94. So Shane going from P12 to P4 in the opening lap so far. Great start for him in the Haas car. Meanwhile, Dan and JK doing a little bit of battle. Maybe JK having a look to the right hand side of the screen, trying to force Dan offline. Nothing working there. But at the end of lap 1, Phoenix Grey leads the way by 6 tenths to Adams, who's got 6 tenths back to Beaton. And now down the front straight, that looked like Dan 94 and JK doing battle. JK on too far back again, but again Dan having to go defensive, and this might give him a compromised run. Ale has retired somewhere in the pit lane, not sure what he was caught up in, but he is out. Simon Levac back to the pits, and away he goes on with that new front wing. Cam McKenzie going to race on with that lack of front wing. How can the Mercedes cope? Can he get any points at all? That will be his challenge for the day. Meanwhile, up at the front, we're so busy catching up on all the drama from lap 1 that we didn't notice Beaton's got ahead of Adams, and now on the run down towards turn 10. Can the McLaren come back? No, he can't. The DRS doing its job there for the Red Bull, as we've got the Red Bull 1-2, JK and Dan 94 finally swapping positions. JK now up to P5 and free to challenge Shane Boland for P4, but we're going to get a DRS run down out of turn 16 down toward turn 17, and there goes Phoenix Grey, Beaton and Adams both with DRS off the leader. But Shane Boland, he's going to have to deal with the lean green fighting machine of JK and the Aston Martin round the outside with the help of DRS. Done on the brakes. Shane Boland though deeper and tries to go back up the inside, gets it stopped on the apex, takes a lot of the curb, and he will just about hold on to P4 at the moment. As now down the main straight, does this open up another chance for JK? He's going to the inside, looking to the inside with 3 abreast as here comes Dan 94. JK going deep, takes them both out wide off track, and swooping through comes Dan 94. He's up to P4 yet again. JK did get ahead of Shane Boland though, so Shane back down to P6, Wes H P7, Dutchy, Dino, Moomin Rider, Smalley, Ortron, who's gone awry. It's Taz Manager spinning out of turn 1 into turn 2. Losing a lot of ground. He was up ahead of the Dutchy, as there we see more drama with Moomin Rider and Dino swapping positions. Moomin Rider clean around the outside, he's up to P9 of the Aston Martin. Meanwhile, it's a synchronised swap for the 2 Red Bulls at the front of the field. We cut to the end of that, and so Beaton now leading the way from Phoenix Grey as they make their way through the last part of Sector 2 into Sector 3. Dino's re-overtaken Moomin rider. Simon Levac has had a spin somewhere in the first sector. Shane Boland's got 3 seconds of time penalties for track extension after losing out to Wes H in the Racing Bull. Now down the back straight. Are we going to see another synchronised swap for the lead? No. Beaton going to hold on to it for a little bit here from his teammate. Now Dan 94 JK, Shane Boland up the inside of Wes H into turn 17, gets the position. He's back up to P6 with that 3-second penalty looming over his head. Smalley and Dino swapping positions. Smalley was on the inside there. Both Hasses then making moves in the inside of turn 17 in what is their home Grand Prix as a team. Oh, and that looks a little bit slidey from Shane Boland, and that's going to give Wes H a chance to have a go up the inside at turn 3, through into turn 4. That's a free move for the RB. The Dutchies had an issue, another car having an issue out of turn 1 and 2. That traction zone catching drivers out here apparently today. Danny Cool picking up a 3-second time penalty. Cam Mackenzie's up to P12. We know he's got that damage to the front wing, and you can see it there. So that is a great drive for him. Phoenix Gray's got back ahead of Beaton at the front of the field. The two Red Bulls working beautifully with each other to get clear now of Adams by 1.5 seconds. Dan 94, JK, Wes H all doing battle. Still, this is the battle for P4 going on. They're now 5 seconds off a podium position. But surely the Aston Martin of JK is going to be shaping up a move on Dan 94. So here we go down the back straight. These 4 cars providing us with a lot of action at the moment. And now down the back straight, JK's gaining, being squeezed to the inside there. Dan 94 looked like he made a half move and then fully committed to that inside. Was there contact? Is there damage to that Aston Martin? That the game seemed to show some carbon fibre come flying off. It looks alright at the moment as they make their way down toward turn 1. Can JK go for it late on the brakes? No, he's too far back on this occasion. As Ortron and Smalley swapping positions now. This is for P10. Smalley down to P11 as Ortron on the inside at turn 1. Can he force him out wide? No, Smalley gets the better traction inside at turn 2 for good measure. And Smalley holding on to P10 for the moment. Great racing here between the Haas and the Ferrari car. Up at the front of the field, it's yet another swap for position with the Red Bulls, and Beaton now back in front of Phoenix Gray. Smalley and Ortron still swapping positions. That's out of turn 7 and 8 this time now. Who's going to get DRS on this little straightaway? On the far side of the stadium from the pit buildings. They both get DRS. No, they don't. Ortron doesn't get it. He's too far back off Dino. So Smalley now, he's got the inside line into turn 10 on the brakes. Can he get it done? Yes, he can, because Ortron goes wide. Simon Levac retires from the session. Ortron, though, on the inside of the long hairpin, and he gets the inside to the chicane, and they're still side by side under the interstate they go. And here comes Cam Mackenzie now in P12. And he might have the best run of them all here down the back straight. JK's got ahead of Dan 94 into the braking zone at 17. Cam Mackenzie with DRS. Now, I see he might get the Ferrari here, he might get the Haas too on the run into 17. There we go. On the brakes, Cam Mackenzie up the inside. Ortron losing 2 positions in 1 straight. Up at the front of the field, Phoenix Gray settled in behind Beaton. The 2 Red Bulls working very well with each other, as they have done all the way through the season so far. And Dan 94 was able to hold off JK for P4 still. But every chance must be growing on the nerves of JK. What now can he do down this straight that leads us into Sector 2? As the Red Bulls swap position once more. JK might come under a little bit of pressure here. Wes H looking like he has a little bit more battery than the 2 in front, and that is working well for the Racing Bull. There you see the over-the-shoulder shot as they make their way under the highway. Just how big does that rear wing look? Shane Boland, another 3-second penalty, this time for straight corner cutting. And now we're on to the aerial view. It's down the back straight they come. 3 cars separated by half a second, with an extra one half a second further back. Dan 94 giving JK more space this time to go up the inside at 17. Gets it done on the brakes. Shane Boland late on the brakes up the inside. gets spun round into the wall there. That looked a little bit a day late and a dollar short, to paraphrase Martin Bundle from Shane Boland. Has he got damage? I really hope not. JK now having to defend from Dan94 down the inside at turn 1. Dan94 sliding through turn 2. And there's a little bit more argy-bargy, and the elbows are still out between these two. Dan94 though still up in P4 ahead of JK. We've got 4 laps to go. We're on lap 7 of 10 here. And I'll be expecting to see the Red Bulls swapping positions in just a couple of moments' time. Here we go. There we go, Beaton up into the lead. It has been working absolutely perfectly for the 2 Red Bulls. They're now 2.5 seconds clear. They were only 6-7 tenths clear of Adams when Beaton got past. So these two really do work well together. Meanwhile, what action is happening further back? Cam McKenzie was unable to get involved in the battle with Ortron and Smalley, who's still raging for P10. Shane Boland with another 3 seconds worth of time penalties. This might drop him out of the points if he's not careful. He is in P7 at the moment. He's got 9 seconds, so this might see him down to P8, P9, depending on how Dino can go. As there we see JK and Dan94, another battle, another move, another overtake at turn 17, another drag race down the main straight. Who's got the DRS? Dan94 does. This is going to be a very easy defence for the Mercedes car. And there we go, Dan94 still in P4. You see the different lines of 3 cars take through turn 3. Up in the front, the 2 Red Bulls beginning to gap each other. Beaton looking like he's getting on the loud pedal a little bit here. Trying to get clear now of Phoenix Grey. The gap at 7 tenths of a second. It's the biggest we've seen. We've got a yellow flag for a McLaren. That's Moomin Rider that's gone around. He's taken some damage. He's lost the front wing. Dino up to P8. Smalley to P9. Ortron and Moomin Rider swap position. So Moomin Rider down to P11 from P8. And no, Ortron loses a position. Not sure what went on there. Maybe he got wide through turn 8. So Moomin Rider from P8 down to P10. And now has it all to do with a broken front wing. We know Cam McKenzie's doing it currently in P12. He is not happy about that one. He'll have a job to do in the main race to come, in the feature race, in a few moments' time, in a few minutes' time. Meanwhile, yet again, with now just over 2 laps to go, we look towards Dan94, JK and Wes H. And this time JK not going for a move into 17, taking a wider line. Can he get a better traction, therefore down the main straight and make the move into turn 1? No, I think he's just too far back on this occasion as they hit the brakes. In toward turn 1, lap 9 to 10, so the penultimate lap here of the sprint race that has been bookended with high-class action and high-class drama all the way through. And here we go, we're going to get some more here now. Ortron ducking to the inside of Moomin Rider as they hit the brakes into turn 1. Who's going to get the advantage? Ortron's still there on the inside. Moomin Rider going to have to keep his foot in, and there's just enough space being given through turn 3. And now Ortron with a full front wing and better downforce gets P10 and the high speed of turn 3 and 4. So the Ferrari gets back up to P10 then. Meanwhile now Phoenix Grey still sitting behind Beaton. How long is he going to leave it? Are they going to leave it? Are they going to race now the last lap, the 2 Red Bulls? They're 3.3 clear of everyone behind, of Adams behind, who's got 6 seconds back now to this trio of cars that have been squabbling since lap 1. JK in P5. He's got DRS yet again. Phoenix Grey's retaken the lead from Beaton. JK 4 tenths back. When's he going to pull the trigger? How late can he leave it? Down this straight to make a move. Dan going defensive on the racing line. JK leaving his nose up the inside. Dan goes deep. JK now with a better run surely has got the move. No, Dan's still there on the inside down the main straight, and Dan is so quick in a straight line. You can see here the advantage now. And now in toward turn 1, Dan's got the DRS, he's got the inside line, he's later on the brakes. JK's having none of it though. He's going to hang it around the outside at 2. and now 3, and there we go. JK finally up to P4 on lap 10, the last lap, the last chance he had to do it, but now he's got to go defensive for the 2 DRS zones between now and the checkered flag. Meanwhile, the 2 Red Bulls, are we going to see some battling here? Is this going to be for position? Beaton's having to go on Phoenix Grey down this back straight in toward turn 10. He's gaining, he's got the inside line, he's going to have DRS. No, Beaton was a little bit too far back. Phoenix Grey burning the overtake energy to perfection there. Now he can recharge through this little section of the track. Make sure the battery is good, and now we're going to see one more twist in the tail as Wes H has got ahead of Dan 94 now. That's for P5. Phoenix Grey's going defensive early. Beaton, he's going to have DRS and the slipstream. Mortron and Smalley swap positions yet again. Beaton's going to go up to the lead. He's going to win the sprint race surely if he can get it stopped on the brakes. There we go. Beaton's going to lead home a Red Bull 1-2. Wes H and JK swapping positions. Are we going to see JK fall back to P6 as Wes H timed it perfectly? The checkered flag falls from Beaton, and oh, and it's a spin. It's a spin from Wes H. JK and Dan 94 are going to come home P4, P5. Shane Poland will come home P6, but with those 9 seconds of penalties over him, Wes H went from P6 to P4 in the final lap. Will take home P6. Thanks to the penalties to Shane, who only falls back to P7 after the spin for Moonman Rider. Dino comes home P8. Smalley P9. What happened to Wartron? He was battling Smalley. He's down to P14. But gets a position back for Daddy Cool's penalty. Taz Manager then the last car on track. I'm still laughing. Wes H had timed it to perfection and got it wrong. The traction a little bit too greedy on the throttle, out of 17. I hope there wasn't contact as JK and Dan 94 were side by side in the braking zone in the apex. But fantastic drama and fantastic spectacles being made here at the Hard Rock Stadium. As that is the end of the sprint race, I'm going to go and have a look in the Discord channel to see what reactions there are. And Cam McKenzie understandably annoyed at Simon Levac after that turn 1, turn 2 incident. There we see the point standings after the sprint. Here are the classification. Beaton and Phoenix Grey, quarter of a second between them. Those two worked very well with each other. Beaton, I didn't realise, up from P8 on the grid to win the sprint. JK P11 to P4 and Wes H P14 to P6. So some big movers and shakers here. Smalley as well, 15th to 9th. Unfortunately, no points for him. 1.6 off Dino there. Moomin Rider, he'll be ruining not picking up those points at the end there. As there we go. The session ends and we head now to the short qualifying. The 18-minute run out. So here we go now. Lights go green for the short qualifying session. 18 minutes now to determine the grid for the race proper, and Phoenix Grey will be wanting to reclaim pole position after he did that one that he got from the sprint. As here we go now, one of the Mercedes, the first cars into pit lane, and it is Dan 94 once more. It's going to be the first car out onto track, being followed by, that looks like one of the Williams cars. It might be the Alpine. It is the Williams of Taz Manager, the second car on track. Then the Haas of Shane Boland and the McLaren of Moomin Rider is the first salvo of cars to enter the racing surface. Is now into qualifying we go. Just wait for the first cars to come round to start their flying laps. We'll follow down 94 once more. That is the second Mercedes, Cam Mackenzie, and the second McLaren of Adams hitting the fast lane now. It's down 94 down the back straight, getting ready for that final hairpin, picking up the throttle and starting a flying lap. Down 94, what's going to be going on in this mind here? P4 for so much of the sprint race. Very nearly fell down to P6. But thanks to the mistake from Wes H, only being in P5. But down 94 now. He's got to put that all behind him. Got to focus on the here and now. Got to focus on this first flying lap. He's on a set of softs. And he's winding his way through the S's at the end of Sector 1. The ever-tightening turns 7 and 8. Can be a really interesting pickup point. 29.7 for down 94 through the first sector. Looking pretty racy so far. Phoenix Grey on and out lap 2. Who else came out onto track? The Dutchie, Cam Mackenzie, Simon Levac, Wes H, Dino, all on out laps. Down 94 though, winding now under the highway. Rounding turn 16, picking up the middle sector split, 101.8. Now 3 corners to go, 1 big braking zone and 3 turns and 3 gentle turns of the steering wheel. There in the background, that is Shane Bolan in the Haas on a flying lap, 101.7, but this lap is invalidated for Shane. Yet again, unable to really, well, yet again having issues keeping it inside the track limits, like we saw in the first sprint quali. Down 94, interestingly, 126.9, almost an identical lap time to his first flying run in sprint quali. Shane Bolan returning to the pits there. Taz Manager 128.1. Who next then is the car to cross the line on a flying run? It looks like it might be... No, it's not Adams. Is it the Dutchie? No, the Dutchie's on an out lap. Phoenix Grey on a flying lap, 29.7 through the first sector on a set of mediums. He's got JK up ahead, who is on an out lap, so, and is comfortably far enough down the road that JK will not get in the way of Phoenix Grey as Phoenix makes his way down to turn 17. The last true corner of the track, opens up the throttle, buries the foot, and here we go. Phoenix Grey to the line, 26.7, goes to provisional pole on that set of mediums, but straight away Adams comes through and beats it, 26.6, a tenth and a half faster on a set of softs though. That is an important fact, but Adams to the top. Cam Mackenzie now, the next car to the line. This is another slow lap, so Cam Mackenzie starting his first true flying lap now. Beaton is on an out lap and getting ready to start a flying run here in the second of the 2 Red Bulls. Simon Levac is coming up to end a lap. Where is this going to put him? 26.888 goes to P3. So 4 cars already into the 126s. As Dino comes across the line on a 27.3. Wes H 26.849 takes P3 away from Simon Levac. The Dutchie 27.2 and Moomin Rider at 42.9, so another slow lap there. So Moomin and Cam still yet to set flying laps here so far. JK is on a lap, as too is Beaton. JK is coming to the end of the lap actually after that P4 dramatic P4 finish that really was helped by Wes H's lack of traction out of the final corner. JK though up to P8 on a 27.3, so it's an all Aston Martin row 4 at the moment. Yellow flag in sector 3, that's for Shane Bolan. getting ready to start a new flying run. Dan 94's back out on track on an out lap, looking to improve on that 26.9. Beaton coming to the end of a flying lap. Taz manager leaving the session. Hopefully the Williams can rejoin us in a couple of moments' time. Beaton up to the line in the Red Bull. 26.969 goes to P6. Who else? Cam Mackenzie has returned to the pits. That second flying lap was invalidated. Moomin Rider up to the line though. 27.5 on a set of mediums goes to P10. Moomin Rider, it has to be said, not having the best weekend here so far in Miami. Daddy Cool still on a flying lap. Shane Boland has, I believe, had an off somewhere. That is why he fell behind Daddy Cool. Daddy Cool started his lap in front of Shane. Phoenix Grey comes back out onto track as Dan 94 gets ready to start a flying lap now. And there he goes. Onto his second flying run to improve on that 26.911. This Daddy Cool rounds the final couple of corners in the Alpine up to the line. 127.4 goes to P10, just a few hundredths of a second faster than Moomin Rider. Shane Boland, as Smalley, Shane Boland's teammate there, out on track for the first time. Still yet to see Autron and Alea. Autron, who has just been released into the fast lane. Smalley starting a flying lap. Cam Mackenzie on a new out lap. Shane Boland on a new attempt at a flying lap on a 29.8 through the first sector. Who's on a flying lap for those out on track. Dan 94's been invalidated on this lap. The top four are all on out laps at the moment. As to is Cam Mackenzie, who's just out of turn 16. We're looking to improve. Phoenix Grey, though, just starting a new flag lap here. 8 minutes 50, just under left on the clock, and Phoenix Grey is onto a set of softs for the first time in the full quali session. And the Aston Martin of Dino just behind the Red Bull on an out lap. As Cam Mackenzie starting a new flying lap as well. Of course, that 44.5, not a true representation of that Mercedes power. And two, as to that, would be the P12 as well in that sprint race. Of course, that incident with Simon Levac that I'm sure will be talked about by the stewards at the end of tonight's runnings. Meanwhile, Phoenix Grey found a 10th in the first sector. Finds nearly 2 tenths in the middle sector. So Phoenix Grey currently looking like he's on a lap that would claim provisional pole position back from Adams in the McLaren. Adams, who has found 7,000ths of a second through the first sector. Simon Levac not going anywhere on this lap so far. Phoenix Grey's returned to pit lane here. Not sure if he was invalidated at the end there or what, but doesn't want to end that lap. Wes H improving by exactly 1/100th of a second. As Shane Boland has set a 27.2 in the last few moments while we were following Phoenix Grey at the front of the field. Cam Mackenzie 27.2 as well goes to P7. We know that that car has more time in it. That was set on a set of medium tyres, so that is that kind of caveat there. Beaton out on track on a new set of soft compound tyres in the Red Bull, looking to march his way up that timing tower. the Dutchy, another car in the 27.2s. Adams improves by 1/10 of a second to extend his gap at the top of the field. Wes H, though, was on a fast lap but backed out of it seemingly through sector 2. Or at least it went wrong in sector 2, and he now returns to pit lane. Dan 94 back out on track. Ale retires from the session, not leaving the track, not leaving the garage at all, with 6 minutes now left on the clock. Moomin Rider is just started a new flying lap. Hortron, I believe, as well, is on a flying run too. If he is, he's not going particularly fast unless he's just set that 27.398 that sees him in P12. Dino on a flying lap as well, or at least just starting one, as the Dutchy improving by nearly 2.4 tenths of a second. This could get him into the 26s here. Could the Dutchy? That would get him down, up into the P6, into the top 6, I should say. Beaton starting a new flying lap. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 that's very quickly cleared, as the Dutchy now out of the final corner. 27.1, not quite able to break the 26s, is the lone kick Sauber, but does improve back up to P7. Beaten through the first sector split, not improving importantly. Phoenix Grey back out on track, 5 minutes left on the clock now. Dan 94 yet again trying to improve on the 26.9. How many times have I said that tonight? Moomin Rider goes to P5 though on a 26.905, 6 thousandths clear of Dan 94 for the McLaren car. As Phoenix Grey out of turn 17 starts his second attempt at a second flying lap. Daddy Cool, then the next car to take the start finish line, starting a new lap to improve on a 27.4. Taz Manager, the only car not in the 27, Smalley sitting in P15 on a 27.8, so 1.3 seconds covers the top 15. As Phoenix Grey through the first sector, finding nearly 2 tenths of a second. Here we go for the Red Bull car. Simon Levac on an out lap. Moomin Rider's just finished that lap. Dan 94 still finding times, found 1.3 tenths of a second as he makes his way down the back straight in toward turn 17. And now out of 17 through 18, and no, Dan 94 returning to the pits again. 3.5 minutes now left on the clock. Was he not going to improve? That seems an interesting decision there for the Mercedes. I suppose this does mean that he will get one more attempt at a flying lap in. Cam Mackenzie on an out lap for what I imagine will be his final flying run of the day. Meanwhile, Phoenix Grey up to the line, to the top, 26.369. A 10.5 clear of Adams, just behind. Taz Manager is able to rejoin the session, so can he now get into the 127? Smalley starting a flying lap now. Shane Boland on a flying lap but not improving through the first sector and invalidating himself on this one, so Shane Boland not yet able to improve on that 27.2. Simon Levac through the first sector. We don't unfortunately get to see a timing split as Cam Mackenzie starts a new flying lap now. And Adams and Wes H are on out laps. Beaton's on an out lap. Dino on an out lap as well. Who's that that's just made the timing screen jump? No, that was just me. As Wes H starting a flying lap. Simon Levac improving by 1/4 of a second through the middle sector. This could be a good run here for the Ferrari cars. JK retires from the session in P12. So too does Daddy Cool with 1:40 now left on the clock. If you're not on track, that is your session done. So Ortron and Taz Manager Oh, Taz might just get a lap in. Simon Lavaca 126.650 goes to P3, jumps ahead of Wes H, who is improving but is on an invalidated lap. So can Wes get the battery and go again? Simon Lavaca retires from the session. Adams on an outlap. Phoenix Grey is back in the pit, so he is done. Moomin Rider on an outlap. Down 94 on an outlap. Beaton is on a push lap now and making his way toward the end of the first sector. And at the end of the first sector, Beaton is improving by a 1/10.5. So Beaton looking to make his way further up the field. Can he make it an all Red Bull front row? The Dutchie on an outlap. Cam McKenzie just starting a push lap. Shane Bolan getting ready for one more flying run. We see the Mercedes safety car there. The drivers can't see it. That's just a visual glitch for anyone spectating. Wes H on the invalidated lap does get round to go again. Where is Taz Manager? Will Taz Manager make it to the line? Yes, he will, as too will Ortron, with 17 seconds left on the clock. So who's going to be the first car to take the flag? It will most likely be Beaton, I believe, who rounds now, turn 17. Floors the throttle up to the line. Beaton 26.4 does make it an all Red Bull front row. Can't just about beats the flag as well. So, but that is Beaton's session done. It's an all Red Bull front row at the moment. Dino improving up to the line. Dino to P8, 126.996. Another car into the 126s. It's now the McLaren of Adams to the line. Can he spoil the Red Bull party? He's finding massive time in the middle sector. Adams to the top, 126.2. A 10th clear of Phoenix Grey. Wow, that is a return lap time there. Cam McKenzie coming up to the lap. Up to the board now, 26.8 goes to P5. He'll be starting just behind his old mate Simon Lavac now as the Dutchie splits them on a 26.802. Dan 94, can he finally beat a 26.9? Yes, he can. He'll get a 26.8 in. 19,000th of a second clear of his teammate. Smalley has taken the flag, so it's Shane Bolan in the Haas to the line. 127.2 goes to P11, jumping JK and splitting the two Astons. Wes H goes to P5 on a 126.7. Moomin Rider returns to pit lane. So now Ortron and Taz Manager to the line. Can we make every car into the 127s? No, Taz Manager can't quite do it. Ortron doesn't improve, so there we go. The end of qualifying. Adams, Phoenix Grey, Beaton, Simon Lavac, Wes H, Dutchie, Dan 94, Cam McKenzie, Moomin Rider, Dino, Shane Bolan, JK, Ortron, Daddy Cool, Smalley, Taz Manager, the top 16. Ale did not set a lap time. And thankfully we have a little bit of a gap between Simon Lavac and Cam McKenzie, who at the turn 3 of the sprint race came together and caused pretty severe damage to both cars, that one retired and one dropped to P12 and was unable to make his way any further back through the field. As there is the final classification. Dino quickly leaving the session. Hopefully he will return in a few moments' time. But there you see just how close it really is between a lot of the cars. Almost Dino, Shane Bolan almost the only one with a little bit of a gap. But I've just seen it is Adams' first pole in MSC. So there we go. Big round of applause there to the McLaren driver, who's been really the only challenger to the Red Bulls through the weekend so far. And he pole by a 10th, and he says he even lost nearly a 10.5 in the final corner. So there you go. That McLaren is looking racy on one lap. Can he now convert that into a long distance run? Let's just ask someone like Usain Bolt. You can run 100 metres in 10 seconds, but can you do 26 miles in, what is it, about an hour and a half? I think the top guys do it now. And that in itself is a crazy stat. Anyway, I apologise. I've been going on some really weird tangents through the stream so far. I hope you're all still with me. I hope you're all enjoying it as much as I am. The drama's been absolutely fantastic. And I hope that's coming across nicely. As I just wait to see what what the start time will be. Dino saying the lobby might have crashed, so maybe JK's will of as well. Conversation just being had whether there might be a quick venue restart, lobby restart with, and we'll take the same grid that we had just a few moments ago that we just saw them set up, depending on whether we have whether we do necessitate the oh no, there it is, JK confirming it's lights out in just about a minute's time now. I didn't see the announcement go through. It's hidden away from me a little bit, so we should be all good to go in just a couple of moments' time. As we just wait for the final seconds to tick down, the final preparations to be made. There we go, Shane Boland leaving the session. Have they made a decision? I've not seen one in the Discord channel that is a lobby reset. I really hope it's all sorted out. As Dino thankfully able to rejoin the session. We're just waiting for is Shane Boland saying he got kicked, so it might be a case that we go for a lobby reset, which means that we just have to hang it out a little bit longer. No. Let's have a look. Have we just seen not seeing anything about a restart, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. We might see everyone retire in a few moments' time, and just bin it, and we'll head back to the lobby, reset the grid as it should be, make sure everyone is in. Otherwise, if we don't, let's have a quick look at everyone's strategies. There you go, there are some tyres to look at. Just while I wait to see, it does look like we're going for a lobby reset, as that was Wes H2 getting kicked out, but the top four are all on mediums. Wes H and the Dutchie on row 3 on hards. Row 4, the two Mercedes both going for a set of mediums. Everyone's saying it's a lobby issue. That looks like that's the consensus, so hopefully now we will be able to get the reset going and we will be all sorted. it'll be at this point, if this were kind of a live party or whatever, or kind of an interaction, a human to human interaction, I'd look around at everyone and say, does anyone know any funny jokes? Just while we all try and figure out what's going on. It does look like indeed the decision is lobby reset. And this will be the big tell. Are we going to see drivers crash and retire, or are we going to see real life racing? No, it is. It does look like people are retiring, so it will be a lobby reset by the looks of it. Oh no, the racing's still going on, so it looks like we are actually racing here. It looks like people have made mistakes as the racing goes on. So Phoenix Grey leads from Adams from Beaton. I was so caught up in watching everyone retire, I thought it's going to be a lobby reset. No, there we go. Yellow flags and penalties that you'd expect most people to not usually get. But Phoenix Grey leads the way from Adams, Beaton, Simon Levac, Dan 94. Shane Boland, Dino, Wes H, Smalley. Of course, a number of cars are under AI control at the moment. Everyone's confused. No one's quite sure what's going on here. I'm not sure. A number of the drivers that say they've left are going, what? They were told reset, but those that are still in are still racing hard, and it looks like still Phoenix Grey leading the way from Adams. Beaton now down the back straight. This will be a controversial one if this all stands. It's down into turn 17 we go. No one making any moves. Moomin Rider retires. There we go. Surely now people are going to take notice. It's Phoenix Grey. Race is on. They're all still racing. Oh, this is a AI battle we're looking at with Smalley at the front of it. So pretty much it's just the top 6 left, I believe. No one else. So it looks like Taz Manager, Daddy Cool. It's pretty much Taz Manager and the top 6 that are all still in. So everyone's, so even so, right, so updates. I believe the general call is a reset. The issue is that the league owner who kind of makes the decisions, Phoenix Grey, man here in the Red Bull at the front, might have deafened himself to everyone else, so can't hear what's going on, might not have seen any of the messages, and so could be going here for a walkaway victory as he leads the way from Adams, Beaton, Simon Levac and Dan 94. I think many discussions and goings on are being had in the world right now. So those watching at home, if you can make sense of this, or if you can let people know that we be having issues, as in let any of those racing know, as Adams now leaves the session, so surely that's going to tip someone off that is still racing. Surely that's going to be there are issues here. As there we go now, Phoenix Grey looking like making considerable effort to try and DNF himself. beaten as well by the looks of it. 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. It's beaten, there we go. Beaten retiring from the session. So it looks like finally, after 5 minutes of confusion, it looks like the pennies dropped, as it were. The realisation has set in. Everyone go. There we go. Phoenix retires from the session. So now it's just those at the front that need to check in. Dan 94, Simon Levac. There we go. Dan 94's in the barrier. The host is migrating. There we go. That's the tell that there will be a lobby reset. So, folks, what I'm going to do, it's just for a little bit, is I'm going to pause the stream because it means I can get a new cup of tea for the race to come. We can have and we can have very, very many jokes. Smalley retires now, so it is just now, I believe, Simon Levac is the last car, I believe, that needs to go, and that will be the end of this lobby. So yes, what I'll do in a few moments, once the kind of Simon clock's on here, I will pause the stream, get a cup of tea. So I'll say goodbye to you for a couple of moments. Imagine it as like a old school advert break, and then we will get underway. I'm not sure if I want to. Moomin Rider in the chat saying this is fun. Moomin, I don't know what you're on about. Someone needs to let Simon know that we've ended the lobby. Like, there we go. He gets it. I get a new invite from Phoenix. So, right, this is going to be the end of, or the pause of part 1 of the stream. Folks, this has been fun. I'll see you properly in a few moments' time for the racer proper. Tasman just saying he thought it was his network. No, Taz, it was everyone. We all had issues there. It wasn't just you. It was what, half the grid, I think. You, McCam. Who else got kicked? I think many people got kicked. I think Beaton, though, highlight of the day in the Discord channel, said cuts the corner just to spear Phoenix Grey off, just to try and have a look at at the Discord channel to catch everyone up. There we go. Right. That was all fun and games. But yeah, folks, I'll see you in just a little bit. I might just take a few moments to get another drink, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Hello everyone, I'm back. I've made another cup of tea. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all still with me. I'm still waiting for another invite. So I can rejoin the lobby. Otherwise, actually I have an idea. Might I be able to do the old trick of joining off someone? There we go. Right, I should have just been able to join the lobby. There we go. Oh, I love technology. Right, we're back. We're back in the lobby. We've got a 29 lap race to come. Wes H unfortunately has had to withdraw due to it being just a little too late for him. So we're back in the lobby. Right, can I now? Now, for anyone watching, you might be able to help me out, because while I'm occasionally quite good with techno, I can't always make it work exactly as I'd like. Can you kind of scroll back through? Never mind, we're going into the... I was going to say, can you scroll back through a live stream to kind of catch up on bits or have a look at something you particularly wanted to see? As I was just trying to find a grid order, unfortunately I couldn't get one. Anyway, so we're down to 15 drivers, so we've lost someone else as well that isn't just Wes H. Having a look. It looks like we might have lost... No, Tasmania's still in. Simon Levac, Cam McKenzie, down 94. Both Red Bulls. There's Beaton, there's Phoenix Grey. Ortron in the Ferrari. Simon Levac, Adams, Moomin Rider, yep. Daddy Cooler Lele. Have we lost to Shane Bolan? I think we might have lost to Shane Bolan, which will be sad to see for the Haas team. Indeed it is Shane that isn't here. As the reminder goes out to do not forget the setup, guys. As we get ready for the racing, we don't want to see anyone, after all of the work you've just done through sprint quali, and the sprint race, to forget the setups and potentially throw a kicker in the works for the full race, the one where the most points are on offer. 25 for the win, of course, plus 1 for the fastest lap, for a maximum of 26 at any one point. We will hopefully see Shane Bolan jump in a couple of moments' time. As here we go now, the command is, it's race time for the Miami Grand Prix. Take 2. Attempt number 2. There we go, Shane Bolan just sneaking in, so it looks like maybe we will get back up to the 16 car grid that we were promising. Of course, Wes H having to back out. Apparently it's just a little bit too late for him, being 11:30 at night in Finland where he is. So Wes, thank you so much for joining, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. And he shows some great pace there. Unfortunate about that turn 17 lap 10 incident in the sprint, spinning out and costing yourself two spots on the run to the line. As we just wait for, I think, just give Shane a chance to load and join in. here we go now for the formation lap. Take 2 for the Miami Grand Prix. The formation lap gets underway. And there you see the tyre choices. And the top 4 all staying with their original choices, all on a set of mediums. The Dutchie going for a set of hards and bidding it straight away. No damage, of course, in the formation lap, but doesn't want to do that in the race to come, but does heat up those hard tyres quite efficiently. The both Mercedes, it was a row 4 lockout for the Mercedes before Wes H having to leave, but they're up to 6th and 7th now, and they're both on a set of mediums. Moomin Rider goes hards. It's an all Aston Martin row 5 with them both on a set of mediums, and then Ortron in P11 on a set of mediums ahead of Daddy Cool and Smalley, who are both gone hards, and then Taz Manager and Ale at the back of the grid, both going for a set of mediums. Both going to be a little bit racy in toward the first few corners. As the tail end of the snake winds its way under the interstate, Adams is already coming down there. You see, just look at the teamwork there by the Red Bulls. They've been so in sync all the way through the day, all the way through the season so far, it has to be said, that we cut to them and they are weaving in perfect synchronicity. You couldn't make my point any more perfectly if you tried, fellas. As now onto the grid we go. Adams this time on pole from Phoenix Grey. What can we do? In toward turn 1. Wait for the last few cars to take their grid spots. Smalley, Tasmanager and Ale all drops off a little bit of the snake a bit. That's going to allow those tyres in front to cool down. As here we go. The green flag's waved, the red lights are coming on. There's 3 pairs, 4 pairs, 5 pairs. And it's lights out and away we go for the Miami Grand Prix, and this time it looks like it's an awful start there. Who's that? That's Cam McKenzie straight away into the barrier. Straight away, wheel spin takes him out. But it's Adams leading, Beaton leading, Phoenix Grey and Simon Levac the top 4 as they make their way through the first few corners. Dan 94 in P5 ahead of JK and Moomin Rider. Dan 94 and JK together on track once more. Dino in P8 ahead of the Dutchie, who's gone backwards on those hard compound tyres. Daddy Cool, Smalley, Ultron, Ale and Taz Manager, the top 14 with Cam McKenzie, of course, now having no front wing and a long way to go back to the pits. So there we go, pretty much awful start for Cam McKenzie as Dan 94 leaves the session. JK and Moomin Rider swap positions on the run down in towards turn 10. JK on the outside, Moomin Rider can try and send it up the inside, gets it done. And now can JK hold off from Dino, who's going to dance around the outside. This becomes the inside at 13. Brave to get a move done there, and he thinks better of it, but has to go straight on at the chicane. Picks up a 3-second penalty for it, does Dino, as he slots back into P8 ahead of the Dutchie behind JK, who's going to get a free spot as Dan 94 straight away on lap 1 disconnects from the session. But it's Adams leading the way, doing better than Lando Norris in leading lap 1 from converting pole position to a lead at the end of lap 1. JK now ahead of Dan 94, free to challenge Moomin Rider, but the top 4 only separated by 1.3 seconds as they make their way through turns 1, 2 and 3. McLaren, Ferrari and 2 Red Bulls in a very incorrect order. The Dutchie having a moment there at the exit of turn 1. Cam McKenzie made it back to the pits. He's now gone onto a hard set of tyres, a new front wing. He can go long here today. What can Cam do in the Mercedes? Now with Dan 94 being out of the session, he really is the one hope for the Bracknell team. At the front of the field though, it's a change of the lead as Beaton with DRS round the outside gets the move done by the time the brakes are hit, and Beaton up to the lead of the Grand Prix in the Red Bull. Ortron and Daddy Cool swapping positions lower down. That's for P9 and P10. That was Dino and JK going wheel to wheel once more into the stadium section as they make their way under the highway and back out onto the back straight for one more run. Cam McKenzie causing another yellow flag, but getting back underway. But up at the front of the field, it's Adams gaining on Beaton, with DRS favouring the McLaren on this occasion. Out of the final corner they come to end lap 2. Beaton from Adams, from Phoenix Grey and Simon Levac, the top 4. They're 4 seconds clear already of Moonman Rider, who's got Dino and JK for company in the second McLaren, bringing along the 2 Aston Martins for good measure. And now Autron and Daddy Cool wheel to wheel. And so that's Alea and Daddy Cool wheel to wheel down the main straight. Alea up to P10 from the back of the grid. Meanwhile, the front of the field, status quo is resumed, but Beaton just stretching the legs a little bit of that Red Bull. Now the gap is 0.7 of a second to Adams as they make their way down the far side of the track. They'll all get DRS though off the back of Beaton as they make their way down though. It might not help Adams here, the DRS, as he locks up on the inside. This is going to give Phoenix Grey a better run all through this tight and twisty stadium section, now under the highway. You can hear just how delicate Phoenix Grey is on the throttle as he now plants it down the back straight out of turn 16. Simon Levac still right on the back of the championship leader. But as they head in toward turn 17, Adams with a great run, gaining a lot of time there on Beaton as they hit the brakes into the final hairpin. But again, another big lock up there from Adams into the apex of the corner. That's costing him time through every single corner. Alea, he's now got ahead of Autron. He's up into P8 now as the Alpine car. And the next battle he's got to get involved with is the 2 Aston Martins and the McLaren of Moonman Rider. As there you see another puff of brakes, presumably from Adams in the McLaren. That's yellow flag in sector 1. That is for Tasmanager going round in turn 2. Gets back underway. Looks like he might have a little bit of damage there on the front of that Williams. Meanwhile, at the front, Beaton leading Adams and Phoenix Grey. As they make their way through this stadium section on the far side of the track again. Dino's got ahead of Moonman Rider, but goes very deep on the brakes. This is going to allow Moonman Rider a chance to go back around the outside here. Can he get it done? No, he can't. It gets the door shut in his face by the wide Aston Martin car, who then gets it all crossed up through 13 into 14 and 15 and now 16, and so Moonman Rider leading the way from the Aston Martins as he was before, but he's got JK behind him now challenging for P5, and Alea and Autron have caught up to the back of the 2 in front, and so now we've got a 5-car battle for P5. It's still a 4-car battle for the lead though, and it's still Beaton leading the way from Adams, but the gap only at half a second. Phoenix Grey with a good run, 2/10 off the back of the McLaren, looking up the inside in toward turn 1. Is he close enough on the brakes? Yes, he is. He's gone for the move. Too far back though, couldn't get the traction he needs. And now what can Simon Levac do in P4 through turn 3? Too far back, didn't quite get the drive he needed on the compromised Phoenix Grey. So it's the top 4 as they were. And now at the front of the field, the gap at 9/10 of a second. Beaton so close now to breaking away of that 1 second window. That would be massive for him and his chances of winning the Grand Prix if he could ditch this battle, just like Moonman Rider's done to the Aston Martins behind. Meanwhile, Adams and Beaton swap positions. Adam on the inside, goes deep, locks up again. Beaton tries to look around the outside at 12, can't get anywhere, and so settles back into P2 for the moment. Moonman Rider trying to ditch JK here, and the train of Dino and Alea that sit just behind, and Autron's not too far back as well. Daddy Cool and Smalley might be doing some battle in a few moments here as the gap is literally a car length between them. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Beaton and Adams. Beaton on the inside line, the right hand side as we look at it, as they hit the brakes into 17. Adams going to go for the switcheroo, but it looked like he had a massive moment coming out of 17. And now Phoenix Grey, he's got the run, he's going to have the DRS, but he's going to get forced out wide, hang out high and dry here. There's no chance of a slipstream off his teammate to help here. And so Beaton, Adams, Phoenix Grey, Simon Levac, the top four. Simon looked like he might have chipped off a little bit of wing there off the back of Phoenix Grey. Moomin Rider and JK doing battle, the McLaren and the Aston Martin car once more going for it. And Ale and Dino doing battle as well. That's for P7, and it looks like Ale's won that battle. Ale off to a storming start, P15 to P7 in the space of 6 laps. That is fantastic driving from him. Cam McKenzie has settled into a rhythm. He's still 15 seconds off the back of those in front, but it was 30 seconds not that long ago. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Adams and Beaton once more. Adams up the inside, deep on the brakes. This time Beaton has to get pinched to the inside wall, and Adams makes the move this time around. JK and Ale doing battle through the same section we've just seen the leaders go through. JK holds off the flying Alpine for the moment, but once more down the back straight, the McLaren leads the two hungry Red Bulls. They're swarming him like sharks. They're waiting for the move. They're pouncing now. Beaton gets the move done into turn 17. Now can Adams get a better run than he did a lap ago? Last lap he went for the old switcheroo. This time he's not close enough. This time he's closer to Phoenix Grey. This time Phoenix Grey makes a move earlier. He's still going to have to go the long way round, but he might pick up a slipstream off his Red Bull teammate, and he gets the move done. And now can Simon Levac get involved as well? No, he can't. So Beaton, Phoenix Grey, Adam, Simon Levac, the top four. JK's got ahead of Moomin Rider. That puts a car between himself and Ale. JK then up to P5, but already this for a 7.5 seconds off the leading quartet. And Orshon still staying with that battle, 1.3 off the back of them. Danny Cool dropping off a little bit from Smalley there and falling into the clutches of the Dutchie, sitting in P12. Tasmanager gaining some time back on the non-existent Dan 94. So it looks like both Mercedes are in trouble at the moment. The Red Bulls get back to their old tricks of DRS swapping. Ale and Moomin Rider might be doing some DRS swapping of their own, but this time it might be with JK as Ale gets the shoulders out and he gets 5th place, does he, as they go through the turn 12, the long right-hander. And yes, indeed, it looks like Ale and Moomin Rider centred up the inside at 14. That was a bold move that doesn't pay off for the McLaren driver. It puts him out of line, and now it puts him into the clutches of Dino in the second of the two Aston Martins. But Ale, a great move there, up to P5. And now he can set about chasing down the 8.3 seconds that is the gap between himself and Simon Levac. Meanwhile, Dino and Moomin Rider, that's another battle. Moomin Rider so late on the brakes around the outside line. Gets the drive, gets the traction, gets to keep P7 on those hard compound tyres. That's important to remember, that he is the only one in the top 9 on those hard tyres. So he can go much longer than these cars around him without necessarily having to push that much harder. Meanwhile, Adams is trying to stick as close to the two Red Bulls as he can. He doesn't want to let them break away like they did in the sprint and just control the race and dominate the race. There really is no other word for it. As down the far side of the track they come, and once more it's another controlled DRS swap for the boys, for the Red Bulls. The boys in the Red Bulls, I should say. Smalley picking up a 3-second time penalty for track extension. Moomin Rider going to come under attack by two Aston Martins. It's 3 abreast as we head in toward turn 11. Through turn 12, JK taking a little bit of extra track that you're not supposed to and getting a penalty for it, and a little bit of a shove into the wall. So JK down to P8 as it stands, all falling away into Ortron. So, and Ale keeping time with the leaders, but only just putting a second on Moomin Rider. So encouraging signs there for the McLaren that he does have that pace. Meanwhile, the two Red Bulls, the McLaren and the Ferrari, up at the front of the field. They're beginning to drop. It looks like Simon Levac now 9/10 of a second the gap. We've got a yellow flag, sector 3. That's for Moomin Rider, who's done a spin out of turn 17. He's broken off his front wing. He's so close to the pits, but he's going to waste the hard tyre advantage. He can't put on another set of hards now. Does he go soft to the end of the race? That is a possibility, but it might not be the preferred one. It's a set of mediums instead for the McLaren, but no new front wing. That is a bold choice, it has to be said. Cam Mackenzie on those hard set of tyres now. Meanwhile, up at the front, it's another controlled swap for the lead. Sam Levac has indeed dropped off the leaders. I'm not sure if he's made a mistake, but that gap now at 2.5 seconds. He must have made a mistake. As yes, indeed, the gap at 2.5 seconds between himself and the leading 3, and 7 seconds between himself and LA. And I wonder now, is Simon Levac just going to fall away from the leaders? No, he doesn't have the DRS. And now, how can the Red Bulls play it with Adams, who's closed the gap a little bit more? How do the Red Bulls play it in order to not give away track position to the only car that's been able to challenge them at all today? Meanwhile, the two Aston Martins have gone from battling an Alpine and a McLaren to battling Ortron in the Ferrari, and right now it's Dino in the rear gunner's position to try and fend off the prancing horse as they head in toward turn 1. Nothing going there on any occasion. The Dutchie and Daddy Cool, that battle happened, and it's the Dutchie now up to P10, 1.9 off the back of Smalley, half a second clear from Daddy Cool. At the front of the field, Phoenix Grey might be stretching away a bit. 7/10 is the gap before they hit the DRS line. Moomin Rider, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. He returned to pit lane to get a new front wing, and he retires from the session, so he is done for the day. One McLaren out after an unfortunate traction incident out of turn 17. We've seen it once already claim a driver today in Wes H. Simon Levac picks up a 3-second time penalty for track extensions. His teammate in the meanwhile's getting down and dirty with the two Aston Martins. They can't find a way through, but my, are they using every inch of the track to try and crowd the Ferrari. And whoa, there's a little bit of contact there. There's three cars make contact into turn 16 in a place where it's usually pretty much single file. 3 cars were racing for position, and it went badly wrong as Beaton heads to the pits for Red Bull. And into the pits comes the sprint race winner onto a set of hards, and away he goes. He'll come out in plenteous free space thanks to the Aston Martin conundrum of a few moments ago. As Smalley and Ortron and the Dutchie, so JK has come into the pits. It looks like this is a scheduled stop, no new front wing, but just a set of hards, and back out he goes. Taz Manager into the pits as well. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, it's now Phoenix Grey left to duel one-on-one with Adams. The first time pole sitter here for MSC F1. And now he's winding. Oh, that's not going to help his chances of race winning today, converting that pole to the win. That 3-second time penalty for being just a little bit too greedy on the apex of turn 14-15. As on the run down toward turn 17 this time. I wonder if Adams and Phoenix are going to try and do a little bit of working alongside each other as they both head now in toward pit lane to cover off the undercut from Beaton. You see almost the full four tyre lockup from Adams up the road. Simon Levac into the pits as well for Ferrari. LA carries on. He's on a set of medium tyres. He's started in last. He's now in first as he's the only car yet to pit out of the leading 5. And now what can LA do on the overcut? Where is Beaton going to come out in relation to Adams and Phoenix Grey? There's Beaton, there's Adams, so the answer is ahead of them both. Simon Levac will come out right next to Smalley, and this contact as the pit exit feeds you into the racing line through the exit of turn 2 into turn 3, and Simon Levac got caught out with Smalley coming across. I'm not sure what has really gone on there. There's a damage to that front wing of the Ferrari, but yet again Simon Levac having issues at turn 2 and turn 3 with space being left, either him not leaving enough or not enough being left for him. But Simon Levac, he's going to be mighty angry about that one now, as JK and Dino came out of the pits right next to each other. Ale, he's picked up 3 seconds of time penalties. That's going to hurt him on his drive from last to where. Cam McKenzie now, after that disastrous start to the Grand Prix where he span off straight away into the barrier on the left hand side of the grid, you can see now his net position is right behind the Aston Martins. They've both made a pit stop, but he will have to make one more stop. Those hards, I doubt, will get him to the end of the race, considering he went onto them at the end of lap 1. Ale into the pits for Alpine, so he loses the lead to Beaton and Adams and Phoenix Gray as well. Simon Levac and Danny Cool swapping positions, as here comes now the Simon Levac trying to get past the Dutch. He can't quite do it on the brakes into 1. Oh, but there's contact again. The Dutchie getting a bit loose out of 2, going back into the side of Simon Levac in turn 3. They carry on as they were, but yet more drama involving Simon Levac in turn 2 and turn 3. Ale came out 3.5 seconds behind the battle with the Dutchie, Simon Levac and Danny Cool. Ortron came out behind the 2 Aston Martin, so he's got to do it all again. And Cam McKenzie just behind that battle as always. Phoenix Gray has got back ahead of Adams. That was into turn 11. But now Beeson 1.2 up the road from Phoenix Gray. I wonder, are we going to see a deliberately bad end of sector 2 here for Beaton as a way of helping out his teammate? Dino and JK swapping positions still in the battle for P9 and P10. Who's still yet to make a pit stop? That's the interesting thing. Smalley, the Dutchie and Daddy Cool all yet to make a stop still. And all of those started on the hard tyres. How deep into the race can they go? JK picking up 3 seconds for track extending. Danny Cool has got back ahead of the Dutchie. Phoenix Gray goes purple as he gets back inside a second of his teammate. Cam McKenzie right up behind Ortron now with DRS. He's on much older tyres, of course. I wonder how much longer does he want to go before he wants to get onto a set of medium tyres to finish off the race and really properly fly. Kenny Nab, the fastest lap point. Ale and the Dutchie still doing battle. Dan 94 into the pits. He's under AI control, of course. Ale up to P7, just behind his Alpine teammate of Daddy Cool. Simon Levac already onto the back of Smalley, but he's now, you can see the damage that the bad pit stop cost him. He's now 9.4 seconds off the back of those he was fighting at the start of the Grand Prix, who are still fighting on the 2 Red Bulls and the McLaren of Adams, who has just dropped outside a second. And so now, is this it? Are the Red Bulls going to run away with it? DRS swap their way to a dominant victory here today. Meanwhile, Ale as Simon Levac and Smalley out of turn 16, a long way before even the DRS straight. Simon Levac gets up to P4, but now he's going to have to hold it from Smalley. He's going to have DRS and the inside line down in toward turn 17. Does Smalley want to go for it on the brakes? Does he want to race it hard? Yes, he does. He's gone for the move back up the inside. He wants to hold on to P4. He can't quite do it. Now he'll get a second bite of the cherry on the run down the main straight. He's saving up some battery here. Can he dump it all in overtake? No, he can't. He's probably a little bit too far back for a move into 1. But there we go. Some great racing with Smalley involved for P5. The Dutchie, the first of those who started on the hards, into the pits. And this is for a new nose and a set of medium tyres as well. Cam McKenzie still battling the Dutchie. Cam McKenzie still battling Ortron and JK and Dino. That battle has been going on for some while. the two Astons and Ortron. The Red Bulls still DRS swapping, but Adams still just there, just over all that 1 second margin behind. Just needs one good sector and he's back in that fight. As Cam Mackenzie now has got ahead of Ortron, he's got ahead of JK, he's got up to P9 just about, has the Mercedes car. Smalley and Alea are now doing battle for P5. And Smalley just trying to be a bigger thorn as he can. He wants to race his own race as well. He's got a good chance of some decent points here for Haas, as unfortunately Shane Boland was unable to retake control of his Haas car. And now down the back straight. Surely Alea going to blast past, and I wonder how much longer Smaller wants to go on this set of hard compound tyres. In the front of the field though, Adams has got back inside the 1 second window of the two Red Bulls, so that's going to stop them being able to do their DRS swapping trickery with absolute no thought to losing time, as JK gets back ahead of Ortron with the help of DRS. Alea and Smalley. Alea shaping for a move. He's going to be careful here. He doesn't want to ruin his race, let alone and the race of Smalley as well. Cam Mackenzie picks up a 3 second time penalty for track extension. Beaton gets ahead of Phoenix Gray under another DRS swap for the Red Bulls. Alea and Danny Cool now. Alea and Smalley now. Alea with the DRS gets the move done. It would not surprise me if we see Smalley and Danny Cool into the pits in the next few laps. I wonder whether Cam Mackenzie will join them in the pits as well. Get on a set of medium tyres, try and chase down everyone, unless he thinks he can get this set of hards to the end of the Grand Prix. As Ortron and JK still do battle for now the last points paying position, P10. Alea, can he chase down Simon Levac? 2.5 seconds is the gap. And that would be an interesting one, with Alea going slightly longer on the set of mediums, being slightly kinder on his tyres. Up at the front of the field, the gap at 0.7 between the two Red Bulls, and a further 0.7 back to Adams in the McLaren. JK and Ortron still separated by less than half a second, just as they have been for so much of this race. That really has felt like it goes by very, very quickly indeed, as yet another DRS swap for the lead. I know it's controlled, I know it is kind of all part of the tactics of the way to be quick in F124, but who says you can't overtake at Miami? We've seen action left and right and coming out of our ears all the time. It's been an absolutely fantastic evening to stream F1 tonight, and what a great group of drivers to do it with. I'm singing praises yet again once more for MSC F1, especially the Club Sport division, which is what this is, and this one in particular is Season 5 Round 3. As I said, as we know, it's the Miami Grand Prix. This is part of the 25-week season that makes up Season 5. We're going to every track in the F1 game this season around, so it leaves plenty of room for plenty of dramatic twists and turns, and I don't think many could say that this has been an undramatic day. We've seen maiden pole positions, we've seen crashes at turn 3, we've seen crashes before turn 1 on the first lap, we've seen crashes coming out of the pit lane, we've seen Smalley into the pits now on lap 18 to get off his set of hard tyres. He started the race on set of mediums and away he goes. Can he beat the Dutchie out onto track? Can he get involved with the battle for the lower points paying positions? It looks like he'll beat the Dutchie out, and there is Ortron, JK and Cam Mackenzie. Cam, of course, who put the set of hard tyres on after that disastrous start where not even 20 metres after his grid box he was in the wall, breaking off his front wing. Dino with a 3 second time penalty too. Ortron and JK swapping positions once more. Smalley already inside a second of the 3 cars in front, so we're going to see a 4-car battle yet for the lower points paying positions. And here we go now, Ortron trying to go around the outside of Cam Mackenzie, couldn't quite get it done into 11. Can he go for the switchback round 12? No, he can't. And how long can Daddy Cool stay out on that set of hard tyres that he did start the race on? Another 3 or 4 laps maybe might see him straight onto a set of softs, and that would be punchy, that would be racy for the Alpine car. Beaton and Phoenix Grey, half a second between them. Adams just outside a second. Daddy Cool into the pits. What tyres does Daddy Cool go on? This will be a question. The answer is a set of mediums, going safe here. He'll come out probably right next to this battle that's just blasted past down the main straight, the Dutchy Smalley. That will be his target to get involved for here, will Daddy Cool. As Cam Mackenzie doing a great job on that set of hards. Can he pull points off here today? That would be a great result. Ale has caught Simon Levac. He's overtaken Simon Levac. It was one thing to catch, it was another thing that looked quite easy round the outside at turn 11 to pass for Ale. He's up to P4 from the last on the grid. Some 16 seconds off the leaders though, but he'll be feeling pretty good about that one. It's now the leaders have condensed the time gap back down to inside a second of each other, the top 3. Ortron and Cam Mackenzie doing battle down the back straight. As to Simon Levac and Ale. And Simon getting back ahead into turn 17 on this occasion. Ortron now, one Ferrari made an overtake. Can one Ferrari maintain his advantage? Can the other Ferrari maintain his advantage as they make their way down the back straight? The Dutchy is in this battle now as well, and there is Daddy Cool on that fresh set of medium compound tyres. Smalley's getting involved, it's 3 wide up at the back there. I'm not sure who went straight on. Cam Mackenzie and Ortron still battling on. JK's made it through to P9, but he's bailing into the pits. The Dutchy's made it through. Smalley's into the pits as well, so contact and broken front wings. JK retires from the session. That's massively unfortunate. I imagine Smalley therefore new front wing and a set of softs maybe? It is indeed a set of softs for Smalley. I'd love to know what actually went on there. That looked a little bit calamitous. The camera angle didn't help us out there. Ale's got back ahead of Simon Levac. Phoenix Grey and Beaton 9/10 clear now of Adams. 10 laps to go, less than 10 laps to go. And Cam Mackenzie can breathe a little bit deeper. He's got at least 2 cars off his back that were going to be challenging him all the way to the checkered flag if he doesn't stop again. Ortron with a big lock up there into turn 11, but gets the move done. Simon Levac, the other Ferrari, making a move on Ale. I get the sense that this battle will go to the end of the Grand Prix as well. The battle for P4. Let's have a look and see what penalty count people are on, and it's 3 apiece for Ale, Simon Levac and Adams, 6 for Dino, 3 for Cam Mackenzie, 3 for Taz and 6 for Smalley. As we're on to lap 21 of 29, the Red Bulls once more do their DRS swapping, their lead swapping. It really is like watching an IndyCar race between these two. It's the Indy 500 where you just take 1 lap, 2 laps, your turn at the front, you break the wind for everyone else behind to get a slightly easier run and do some fuel saving. That's the rule in IndyCar. It doesn't quite work like this in F1 though. Oh, that's very close under braking the front wing to the rear diffuser of Simon Levac. There wasn't any contact, but that looked mighty close for a few metres there. And now Ortron and Cam Mackenzie. Simon Levac picks up another 3-second time penalty. Ortron, Cam Mackenzie, the Dutchy, Daddy Cool. Very little separate the 4 cars in the battle for P7. No matter what, everyone's going to leave here with some points if they keep it clean. They just need to do exactly that and keep it clean. Simon Levac, Ale swap positions yet again. Simon Levac up the inside at turn 17. Ale, can he get the power down on, go for the old switcheroo? He's going to go for it anyway. is Alele. He's going to get the slipstream now down the main straight and the DRS too. And he's gaining. He's not quite gaining enough for a move into turn 1. So Simon Levac holds on to P4 for the moment. Ortron with Cam McKenzie just behind. Cam gaining. Not as much as the Dutchie's gaining on him though. The Dutchie though, again, too far back to do anything about it. Up at the front of the field, beaten Phoenix Grey. Once more swap positions. And once more Adams sitting there waiting. He knows he's got P3 in the bag with that 3-second penalty hanging over him, unless he can get involved and split the Red Bulls. And if he does, can he then break through both of them and get clear and try and make back that 3 seconds? That's the only way he can win this race from here. Dino, it has to be said, a little bit in a world of his own. 21 seconds behind the cars in front, 4.5 behind the battle, ahead of the battle behind. And yet again, Ortron leading Cam McKenzie, the Dutchie, and Daddy Cool, who is the big mover and shaker at the moment on the newest tyres, on medium tyres as well, so they're softer than those in front. Daddy Cool gaining not enough under braking for a move on the Dutchie for P9. Alele, Simon Levac holding stations as they were a lap ago. 23 of 29 we're on now, and it looks like we'll be getting another battle, another commencement for the war that has turned into the P7. It's 3 abreast down into turn 17. The Dutchie on the far inside, Ortron on the outside, Cam McKenzie in the middle, who might just come away with the best drive here. Cam McKenzie now will have the inside into turn 1. He's got the advantage ahead of the Dutchie, but he won't have DRS on any of the 3 cars behind. And here comes the Dutchie back up the inside into turn 1. Double fronts lock up. And the Cam McKenzie's going to get back involved on the inside of 2. Space being left on the outside of 3 for them each. The Ortron going to try and hang it low. The Dutchie with a bit of a wobble through turn 2. So Cam McKenzie back up to P7 ahead of Ortron and the Dutchie, and Daddy Cool, the car behind, waiting to pick up the scraps and get the free to position when it comes, because it feels like there's going to be a monumental crash in a very short amount of time. Meanwhile, Alele's got back ahead of Simon Levac, but that won't last long down this straight, with Simon being less than a car's length behind the Alpine. DRS now open. They shortened the DRS straight here for this year, but it's still powerful enough for Simon to blast his way past Ale. Daddy Cool and the Dutchie, yellow flag, sector 2. That's for the Dutchie, who's got it wrong, going under the interstate. Not sure if there was contact on those medium tyres, but he's back underway, but has rather lost touch with those battling ahead. But Ortron has definitely not lost touch with Cam McKenzie on the brakes up the inside into turn 17. Cam McKenzie though, oh, and that's a spin for Ortron. Another car having traction issues out of 17. Ortron into the barrier. I don't know, has he got front wing damage? Yes, he does, but he decides to carry on. And so the Dutchie and Ortron both getting it wrong on lap 24 of 29, but they carry on. And they're free to have their own little battle now for P9. Meanwhile, Cam McKenzie and Daddy Cool doing battle. Cam McKenzie just can't catch a break from P7, and so he slips back down to P8 for the moment. Those old hard tyres must be screaming out for help now. Simon Levac's back ahead of Ale. The gap at less than half a second though. Beaton and Adams and Phoenix Grey still separated by less than a second. Are we going to see a last minute move on the last lap of the Grand Prix between any of the 3 drivers? Even if it's just for pride for this man here, Adams in the McLaren. Ale was unable to make a move on Simon Levac for P4. On the last DRS straight, Cam McKenzie now has fallen out of DRS range of Daddy Cool. Daddy Cool should be home clear to pick up P7 pretty easily. Who has what penalties? That's the other thing to think about. And Simon Levac and Ale both have 6, so it's on as even between those two. It is just about who crosses the line first in 4.5, 5 laps time. As Dad94 under AI control gets lapped by the 3 leaders. Alei and Simon Levac swap positions once more. Alei this time up the inside with a chop across onto the nose of Simon Levac into turn 11. And it has to be said, the 2 Red Bulls were able to get past the lapped traffic a little bit easier, but now they're beginning to battle, the 2 Red Bulls. Beaton had the move done down the straight. Phoenix wanted to bite back on the inside under braking. I wonder now whether the gloves are off and whether we're going to see a straight battle between these 3 cars for the last 4 laps. Phoenix Grey back up the inside into turn 1, gets the move done. Beaton though going to have none of it, but gets the door slammed shut in his face. And here comes Adams now in the McLaren, sitting there just behind. What can he do? Is he going to pray for an incident between the Red Bulls? The 2 in front are very clean. They have massive amount of respect for each other as well. It would be such a sad way to end the day if these 2 got it wrong. But Phoenix Grey leads for the moment from Beaton, and Adams, who's looking closer to the Red Bulls than he has done for a while. In fact, he's going for a move here as Adams. He's going to have to go the long way round at turn 11. With a lock-up though, can he go for the old switchback? No, he can't. It was a bit too early on the brakes there. And he just has to sit in P3 for a little while longer. Yet we've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is for Ortron yet once more in turn 17, getting it wrong, and those tyres are overcooked and he's slipping and sliding. Meanwhile, the leaders seem to have calmed themselves down a little bit. Beaton though with that DRS wide open. Adams looking really racy now in the last few laps. He's been able to look after those tyres a little bit, has he? Simon Levac and Alei too, separated by only 0.7 of a second as they make their way down the back straight. Simon driving off the racing line to make sure that Alei doesn't go for a move up the inside. Daddy Cool has got ahead of Cam McKenzie, but hasn't quite been able to drop him. Cam, on those set of tyres that he's been on since the end of lap 1, to remind you, doing a great job on them to try and bring that car home in a very respectable points paying position considering the start he had. Meanwhile, up at the front, the 2 Red Bulls, 4/10 between them now, 2.5 laps to go. And Alei, Simon Levac, the same story. They don't have much more than 2.5 laps to go, and there's 2/10 between them here. Phoenix Grey still leading the way from Beaton. It looks like he wants to try and lead long for a little while here yet. But now out of turn 16, Beaton with a great run through the chicane section onto the highway, and now down the back straight. It's going to be Beaton's turn surely to take the lead back, and there he goes. Beaton back to the front with 2 laps to go. He's got the inside into 17. Phoenix going to try and hang it around the outside though. He doesn't want to give this one up easily. And now through 18 and 19, Phoenix with the better drive. He's going to have DRS as well down the front straight away. Phoenix Grey maintains the lead for a little while longer yet as they head in toward turn 1. Simon Levac still holding off Alei in the battle for P4. Daddy Cool has lost time back to Cam McKenzie, the gap under a second. They're keeping the Dutch here over 2 seconds behind as well, so that's good for Cam McKenzie, and his penalty count stands at 3 seconds at the moment. Up at the front though, Beaton and Adams. That gap falling away is Adams, so it's going to be Beaton and Phoenix Grey surely. The only battle from here on out, a lap and a half to go. Beaton, he can count the number of DRS chances he'll get left on one hand by now. So he hits the brake in toward turn 11. Beaton gets the move done. Phoenix Grey back to P2, as I say, with a lap and a half to go. 5 DRS zones left, 5 more true overtaking opportunities with the help of the drag reduction system. Alei, Simon Levac very close to each other, but nothing going into turn 11 this time around. Dino is all in a world of his own, 24 behind those in front, 6.5 ahead of those behind. Cam Mackenzie with a slightly sad sector 1, it has to be said, losing 0.4 of a second to Daddy Cool, falling just outside of DRS range. This is going to be massive for him and his chances of staying in that P8 spot with the Dutchie behind. But meanwhile, the Red Bulls have taken us on to lap 29, the last lap here today, and it's Beaton leading the way from Phoenix Grey. Can he go back to back sprint and feature as they make their way through sector 1? That looks like a slightly wider line for Beaton than he might necessarily would have liked, but through turn 7 and 8 now it's looking very much under control, and with great run Phoenix Grey falls away to 7/10 behind, but he's going to have 2 more bites of DRS, and here comes the first one. It's the longer DRS straight. He's got the slipstream too, and he's gaining, he's so fast in a straight line. Phoenix Grey going up the inside in toward turn 11, gets it done before the braking zone, and now he's got to pick his point. Just needs to hold off. There he does very much well. Hold off Beaton into the highway section. Now he needs to get this traction zone absolutely perfect. It's so important. The Dutchie picks up a 3-second penalty. Alele gets ahead of Simon Levac. It's the last straight. It's one more hairpin to go. Are we going to see one last change for the lead? Phoenix Grey dumping his battery. Beaton doing the exact same with DRS and slipstream as well, and he's going to go for the inside line. Is Beaton under braking? He gets it done before the braking zone. Now he just needs to get the traction zone right. He gets it right, and it's going to be Beaton who rounds the final corner now to lead home the Red Bull 1-2. Beaton from Phoenix Grey, 3/10 at the line, just like it was in the sprint race. Beaton got a purple final sector. That goes to show how hard he had to push. Adams was half a second back off Phoenix Grey, 3 seconds with the penalty included. Ale has held off Simon Levac in the final straight for P4, just about got the job done at the line. Dino should come home P6 quite comfortably, but Cam Mackenzie, can he on the road get back ahead of Daddy Cool for the pride of P7 on the road? He's got the 3-second penalty, so he'll drop down to P9 at best, but he's got the DRS, he's got the straight line speed. Cam Mackenzie for pride up the inside in toward turn 17 on the brakes. Gets it done but goes deep. Daddy Cool, can he go for the switchback? He's got the better tyres and the drive, and he's got the traction to do so. Daddy Cool with some great racing there out of the last corner. He does come home in P7 as we thought he would. The Dutchie with that 3-second penalty keeps behind Cam Mackenzie, of course, pushing so hard to get inside 3 seconds. He picked up a 3-second penalty of his own. Taz Manager is in the top 10, but can he hold off Ortron with that 3-second, with that time penalty? No, he can't. Ortron comes home to make it a double points finish for Ferrari. Smalley, the last unlapped car. I am out of breath. I am tired. It's been such a fantastic stream. Drama absolute left and right. We even had a lobby reset as well. Ale gets the driver of the day from the game, and with a drive from last to 4th, there's a very strong case for him there. Adams with the first pole position as well, and a very well deserved podium, and being the only car to challenge the dominant Red Bulls. That's a shout for driver of the day. Cam Mackenzie, almost as a sympathy for that starting crash and then going the entire race on a set of hards, gets a shout out as well. Of course, Beaton and Phoenix Grey, the 2 Red Bulls dominating from start to finish. But I think my driver of the day will go to Adams. I think maiden pole position, podium as well, and the only car, the only car inside 15 seconds of the Red Bulls, 25 seconds of the Red Bulls, has to count for something. Adams the driver of the day. Beaton the race winner. Phoenix Grey P2 in at the end of the day. With the sprint race as well, Beaton doubles up the day, from Phoenix Grey, and Adams too. Folks, I have been sharp. I've been streaming now for something like 2.5 hours. I'm absolutely tired. My voice is probably gone as well. You can hear it too. Cam Mackenzie saying that Dutchie didn't get anywhere off the start, so he had to swerve and hit the wall. Hence hence going into the barrier. As I say, folks, I've been sharp. My voice is tired. You must all be shattered too. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon in Club Sport Season 5, Round 4 for MSC F1. I have no idea where we're off to next, actually. But folks, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. But for now, good night, and...
The freight is sitting heavy on my shoulders. The rain is coming down, it's getting colder. Feels like I'm gonna run out of time. I never thought that I would be the soldier. Can I keep it all together, my composure? Cause I got another mountain to climb. And I feel the darkness right now, yeah. But I really want this somehow, yeah. If I drop, it's more than a vow. Cause this ain't over now. This ain't over now. Sometimes it feels like I'm living a dream, but I know that it's real cause I'm still fighting for it. Yeah, it feels like I'm living a dream, but I know that it's real cause I'm still fighting for it. I guess I got a bounty on my head now, but I don't even take it like a threat now. That's how they be playing the game. I see the rhythm of the night from the edge now, but I ain't even trying to break a sweat now. Cause I got another dragon to slay. Sometimes it feels like I'm living a dream, but I know that it's real cause I'm still fighting for it. Yeah, it feels like I'm living a dream, but I know that it's real cause I'm still fighting for it. 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 I'm not ever living life from the backseat. I'm like Usain Bolt at the track meet. Try to keep it cool, but I ain't even low key. Got a hundo in my pocket, I ain't rosy. Cause I'm getting back to the basics. What hit me, what hurt me, what made me? Cause maybe this life is worth saving. Yeah, I think